What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So, NBC Premier Boxing Champs Heavyweight. First time in about 30 years that we got a heavyweight fight, and I enjoyed it. I thought, just to go over the undercard real quick, I thought the Cassie fight versus Dominic Brazil, I thought that was a robbery. And even if you gave it to Dominic, it shouldn't have been by that margin. Like, somebody gave 10 rounds to Dominic Brazil. Obviously, that's the Heyman fighter, and I just thought it was bogus. And it sucks for Cassie because that's the second time, in my opinion, that he's been robbed. I thought he got robbed in the Chris Arreola fight. I don't think that was a draw. I thought he won that fight. Now, looking at the main event, Deontay Wilder. If you guys follow my post-fight, like when I discuss it, my reviews, I give you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I'll start with the good. The good, what I like from Deontay Wilder is he's maturing. I see an evolution. He's maturing as a heavyweight. And what I mean by that is when I used to see him fight, like, for example, when he fought Audley Harrison, he was just like his last name suggested, Wilder. He was real wild, and he was trying to go for the kill so gung-ho to the point where he was like falling and like swinging so hard that he was missing and like falling over himself, and he was reckless. But I seen a more refined version of him tonight. He was picking his shots. He was mixing up his punches. I seen a good stamina and conditioning. He threw a lot of punches, and that's what people sleep on. People don't. That's why I can't talk to boxing. I can't talk boxing with a lot of people because a lot of people, they're just gonna look at it. Because even myself, I didn't know anything about Johann Duhaupas. Like, I'll just keep it real, you know what I mean? But I'm also a realistic boxing fan. And sometimes the guys you don't know anything about, you don't have any data on, you don't have no film to study, they can be dangerous. And I'm not talking him up, but you seen him in there. This motherfucker was tough. Dude was tough. Like, I'm not trying to amplify him or make him sound like I had him losing pretty much every round, but he was game and he was tough. And if it were maybe a lesser fighter, like a Steve Cunningham or somebody who's smaller in size, then it could have been a totally different fight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to talk up the guy. I didn't know him before, but he earned my respect because the dude had a hell of a chin. And you look at the punch stats and total punches, Deontay Wilder landed 326 punches to Duhaupas 98. So that's 56%. And we're talking about a known knockout artist, a known power puncher. He has a knockout in all of his fights minus the Bermane Stiverne fight. So, I mean, that tells you the creed and the caliber of Duhaupas. I mean, he was tough. He had heart and he was tough. He had a cut on the bridge of his nose probably in round one, and he was still coming forward. That's another thing that shocked me is his game plan was to bring the fight to Deontay Wilder. In that first round, he was walking him down, and he wasn't fighting scary. He wasn't fighting like a scared person, and that's what I like to see. But Wilder landed 69% of his power punches, 183. So I got to give credit where it's due, even though it was an unknown. I don't know what will go on, but I'll definitely check for this dude. They match him with somebody else in the States or whatnot. I'll definitely check because he did have a chin and have heart. And that's what a lot of boxing, oh, he's a cherry pick and we don't know him. Just because you don't know who somebody is don't mean they're not good. You know what I mean? I'm sure there was a point in time where Gennady Golovkin, when he came to the States, was probably like 2011. So in 2010, he would have been unknown because he was fighting in other places like Germany and different places. He hadn't fought in America. So same thing could be said. So you never know. So if you don't know who a fighter is, like a Gennady Golovkin, just because you don't know him doesn't make him a good fighter or a bad fighter. So again, I didn't know who this dude was going into the fight, but he earned my respect just off the grit, heart, and chin. He was trying different things. And I mean, even the 11th round TKO, he didn't even get knocked down and had never been knocked down before. So, I mean, the dude had heart. That's the only way to put it. Now, let's talk about the bad and the ugly. The bad and the ugly is, I don't think he's ready for a Klitschko right away, but I mean, that doesn't really matter because Klitschko just pulled out of the fight for Tyson Fury and still has to get past Tyson Fury, and that fight still has to happen. So that's one thing. But as far as his fight game, I like what I've seen from Deontay Wilder, but there's a couple mistakes that he continues to make. One, he backs straight up and he's like squared up. So when you get in there with like the power punchers, the top power punchers, like the Anthony Joshuas, who have some height to him, Klitschko's, Tyson Fury possibly, Povetkin, you have to be careful of that because, you know what I mean, you can get clipped. And I don't know what type of punching power Duhaupas had, but I wouldn't say it's probably Anthony Joshua, Povetkin level, Klitschko, or none of them dudes. So that's one thing. Backing straight up. Other thing is, as a champion, I think Wilder needs to work on continuing the game plan throughout and knowing when to switch and mix it. Things like he was using a jab early in the fight and then he kind of got away with it. Like he got away from it, I guess you could say. And I don't think he should have done that. I think the jab continuously was working, so why'd you stop doing it? You know what I mean? But I like his conditioning. I mean, I like what I've seen from him overall, and I'm anxious for the next one. Hopefully, we see him fight at least a Bryant Jennings caliber person or his mandatory, who is Povetkin. These are all great fights, so I really like what I've seen. He was having fun in there. He put on for his hometown crowd, and that's what boxing is about, man. And that's what boxing needs for primetime heavyweights, because the heavyweight division has been very boring in the last 10 years or whatever. It's been like two people, the Klitschkos, and that's it. So I like the showmanship from Deontay Wilder. And like I said, I'm not talking up this Duhaupas dude, but he was taking some heat. Like, I don't know the exact rounds, but round 10, I think, round might have been 3 or 5, he was taking punishment. Like, he was getting like pummeled with shots from a known power puncher, and he was just staying in there and not going down. So, I mean, the dude, he's tough. I don't think other heavyweights would have just been eating all them shots and had cuts. And the other thing I liked about Deontay Wilder is he had that puffiness, and his eye was looking pretty bad. Not quite as bad as Lucas Matisse versus Danny Garcia, but it looked like it had the potential to get there, and he had to weather that storm. So overall, it was a solid performance. He calmed down, doesn't look as reckless, and I'm just ready for the next one. But I think that's what primetime boxing needs in the heavyweight division, to see some good action fights. And this one turned out to be more action-packed than I expected. Let me know what you guys thought. If you watched it, make sure you like my video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.